I'm Phil Olley, and the story that I'd like to share is, if you picture the scene, it's the 18th of March 1999. It's a bright spring day, just a normal spring day, and I collapsed and died on a pavement in Edinburgh. That was a real turning point for me in my life. I had what they call an anaphylactic shock, and we still don't know what caused it. At that stage, I had never heard of an anaphylactic shock, but it turns out that it's like an allergic reaction and it can kill you. And it was so severe that on that occasion, it did kill me. I was fortunate, of course, that the paramedics arrived and brought me back to life after a few minutes lying on the pavement in Edinburgh. What happened was I simply started getting a tingling sensation, and that grew into a rash, a rather large blotchy, they call it urticaria or articaria, all over my body. And as I walked back towards the car to drive home, thinking there was something wrong, I started to find myself short of breath. I started to go snowblind because the nerve endings in your eyes start to fizzle and pop. And I just started to lose my vision. Got into the car, my then wife was driving, and she started to drive me home. And I remember at the moment when I slumped forward and drew my last breath, I remember feeling that it was like fainting, but it wasn't fainting. I wasn't passing out, I was genuinely passing away. And I remember drawing that last breath and going down the white tunnel. And what struck me at the time was how peaceful, how soundless the white tunnel was. And this kind of sense of allowing myself to go and giving over to the inevitable that I knew was happening. I remember feeling that that was obviously such a huge wake-up call to me, that in the few hours afterwards, when I lay in the bed in the Edinburgh Western General Hospital and found myself kind of feeling like I was asking big questions of myself, what's it all about? That I had a sense of real clarity as well, that the life I was then living wasn't the life that I really wanted. The three lessons that were brought back to me and have been a wallpaper for me ever since in my life, they have informed everything that I've done, are that you must live your life with your values to your purpose. No one else's. This is your chance and one chance, and you can only live that one chance for you. And the second thing, and that's not about being selfish, that's just about being very aware of what it is that makes you tick. The second thing is that you must take massive action to make sure that you live that life and have no regrets and leave no stone unturned, and really be focused on living that life. And the third thing is that it's down to you, that no one else, in that moment when you go down that white tunnel, that soundless, peaceful moment, you are genuinely alone. And in a way, that loneliness, that internal persona, is the most valuable part of us. It's our deepest identity. And I think it's something that we don't connect with enough. And that's really my big message, and that was my big story in a way. That's what informs everything that I do. So when I'm working with companies, when I'm working with individuals, whatever I'm doing in life, in my business life, but also in my home life, my family life, my relationships, I find that those three lessons of living your life to your purpose with your values, of having no regrets and taking focused action, and thirdly, of being personally, fully, totally responsible for everything you are, have and become. I think that's stood me in good stead ever since. We still don't know what caused the anaphylactic shock. I still carry my EpiPen every day with me. It's actually a very useful reminder. This is what you would use if it happened again and I had the shock. It's simply you jab it into your thigh and it gives you enough adrenaline to keep you alive until the paramedics arrive. But I find it a useful reminder, of that moment and how precious life is and how precious our existence is. I also use that moment as the catalyst to write the books that I've written. The first one, Counting Chickens, I wrote pretty well immediately after that experience, although it took 4 years for it to get finally published, but that's all about, don't count your chickens is the message that we often hear. But actually I discovered that very successful people do count their chickens. They have this insatiable desire and belief that they are going to achieve their big goal, and that is about counting your chickens. And then subsequently, when I wrote Result more recently, the second book, which got published by Pearson's a couple of years ago, that very much talks about that experience of being dead on the pavement in Edinburgh and what that means in terms of the way you view the results you get in your life, whether that be business results, career results, personal results, financial results, whatever it is. And every day I live that vision time and again. I know I am very clear about what my life is about and about how I want to live that life. So that's really my story. Dying on a pavement in Edinburgh woke me up. For the vast majority of people, they never embrace their mortality. Most people don't believe they're going to die at a fundamental level. They don't believe they're going to die unless they've had someone very close to them pass away. Until you get that, you don't believe that you're going to die. There's this kind of, we carry on this mock sort of, sort of charade really, that life is forever. And people have the wrong perspective often, which is that they don't have enough money, but they do have enough time. And actually, it's the other way around quite often in life. And one of the passions that I have is to make sure that people don't let their time be stolen, or that they don't let their time be lost, because that's the most valuable commodity that we've got, the time and the energy that we have. Money will come and go, and we can use it, and it is a valuable tool, but it's not a goal in itself. And people get too hung up on the money goal quite often. Like I say, it's a valuable tool, but it must be a tool. And I think that one of the things that struck me has always been how people who really make a big difference in life do so because they have a deep passion and a deep purpose that they can then expose, first of all to themselves, and then they can get out to the world and deliver. And it's until you embrace that big purpose, that really genuine big mission of what you would love your life to be about, that magic one vision of what you would love your life to be about, it's then that you start to really live.